The best way to improve your English vocabulary. Every teacher knows that the best way to improve your English vocabulary is by learning vocabulary in the context through reading and listening. And even though this is a very common knowledge, there's a problem. Sometimes common knowledge doesn't equal common action. Everybody knows how to improve their English vocabulary, but they just don't do it because they're so distracted on TikTok watching cat videos. But hey, if reading and listening is already a regular practice for you, then congratulations, you don't need this video. But if it isn't a regular practice for you, let me convince you to start reading and listening on a regular basis. I'm going to show you how to implement these two skills in order to improve your English vocabulary. Let's get started. The most important thing you can do to improve your English vocabulary is by reading. Read a lot. And what should you read? Read anything and everything. But most importantly, read what you are interested in. If you are interested in sports, read sports magazines. If you are interested in beauty, read beauty magazines. If you are interested in gardening, read stuff about gardening. If you are interested in movies, you can read movie novels or you can just read classic storybooks. But also, don't just read and learn new words and try to remember them. Listen. You also have to listen. Listen a lot. Listen to English podcasts about topics that interest you. Listen to YouTube videos. Watch YouTube videos. Listen to English songs if that's what interests you. And to ensure that you're using the new words that you learned from listening and reading, you have to write. And don't just write the word that you learned. Write the meaning of the word. Write a sentence using the word and ensure the sentence clearly shows that you know the meaning of the word. For instance, let's say you learned a new word like colorful. Make a sentence that shows that you know the meaning of the word colorful. For instance, the garden is colorful because it has several flowers of different colors. Just by reading the sentence, you will know the meaning of the word colorful. Do that exercise with every English word you learn. And don't limit yourself to one new word. When you learn a new word, make sure you learn different forms of the new word. Try to look for synonyms to this new word. Try to look for antonyms to this new word. Try to look for an homophone to this new word. For instance, let's say you learned the word beautiful. Try to look for synonyms of the word beautiful. Words like gorgeous, words like pretty, or a word like good. Synonyms are amazing or fabulous. Synonyms are words that mean the same to the word that you learned. Antonym means opposites of the words that you learned, like beautiful, ugly, good, bad. And by learning this, it helps you add more words to your vocabulary so you don't end up using the same basic English words over and over again. Sometimes you may listen to a new word, but you don't really know the spelling. In this case, just write the spelling phonetically, and this means write it the way it sounds. And this is why it is very important that when you're trying to improve your English vocabulary, you need to have an English dictionary, whether it's an American English dictionary or a British English dictionary, depending on what type of English you are interested in, you need to have an English dictionary so that after learning a new word, you can go to your English dictionary and look up the meaning of a word. Another importance of reading and listening every single day is that it increases your brain power. And just like a muscle needs regular physical exercise to be stronger, your brain also needs regular exercise. In order for you to listen and understand what someone is saying in English, you have to stay attentive to them, right? So that improves your attention. And on the other hand, reading improves your memory, and that's why when you read a novel, you will end up knowing the characters, the name of the characters, the relatives to the characters. You're gonna have to remember the storyline of the novel that you are reading, which in turn improves your memory. And sometimes reading improves your intelligence depending on which type you're reading. For non-native speakers like me and you, speaking English requires a lot of effort. And by the way, if you are living in a non-speaking country, this habit is a must. Reading and listening habit is a must. Speaking from experience here because I've never been to an English speaking country. And if you're in the same situation, the only and the best way to improve your English vocabulary is to immerse yourself in the English language by applying these two habits, reading and listening, and guaranteed you will have the results. So do yourself a favor and start reading and listening to English today.